Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahawah thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. Call Halal, Yahawah, Yahawashi, Qadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Yahawah that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And I read that scripture because it's so fitting. And you know, you see the name of the video on the screen: U.S. abortion law overturned after 50 years. Trump says God made this decision. All right, and this is WEON in English. This is about a 3-minute video, and there's a ton of videos on the subject matter. You see the chaos and the anger of the crowds, clashes with police and protesters all over the country, and the place is super divided. But the reason being that I read that scripture about the curses falling upon them, and what you have to understand is that this was not done this was done for a couple reasons. And one of the reasons was this sets the precedence for getting around and moving around official law, which is the Constitution, which I will not stop saying that the Constitution is in the way of the new order that they intend to complete, that they intend to propagate on the people. It's in the way. Second document is the Holy Bible, the King James 1611 version. Is what I think of when I say that, because that's the Bible that they actually use in the courtrooms and that they use for presidents to swear in on. All right, for you know, when they're swearing peace officers and judges and anything within the government, it's the King James 1611 that they use, Apocrypha included. All right, remember that the Apocrypha was actually used in the inauguration of Donald Trump. They read from a couple books in the Apocrypha. Wisdom of Solomon is one of them that I remember right off the top of my head. But so that's the first thing. The second thing is that in 26 states, white people have zero growth. So they're already the minorities and they're having no growth. And this is really about to save white patriarchy. And the first person that I heard say that was actually a white woman who was very angry that she doesn't have a right to murder her babies. You know, I'm just gonna call it what it is. You know, they like to use the word abortion. And hey, unalive your baby, you know, to murder it because you choose to your career and party and having a good time and traveling versus that of being a mother. And you know, this funny thing is that it's the ignorance of the so-called white man who pushed these laws and gave these women this power and these laws in the first place, and now it's come back to destroy him. And as we always say, this man is clearly not fit to rule. You know, he does wicked and evil even unto himself, even when he's not trying, man. All right? And this man, his time is up. But I want to play a couple TikTok videos. And here we go. What is that one all about? I don't even know what that's about. Wow. Whatever it was. Oh, her. Okay. Might have to play hers. Okay. So I want to start with this one. This is just the beginning, okay? And get this guy's take on everything.
That is not hyperbole.
So hold on. Again, there we go.
When I say that Roe v. Wade is just the beginning, that is not hyperbole. That is not me fear-mongering. That is a very serious reality that we're facing, and I will give you examples. Just yesterday, police officers can't be sued for Miranda violations, according to the Supreme Court. Miranda v. Arizona is why we have Miranda rights, and it makes it so if a police officer does not inform you of your rights and then gets information out of you, they can't be used against you.
And I'll let you know that is never used with so-called black and brown people. All right, they never read Miranda rights to anyone. You only see that on TV. So in actuality, most of these jakes that get arrested in the inner city or anywhere, all they'd have to do is produce the proof or have witnesses that their Miranda rights weren't read, and they could actually just walk out of the courtroom. So, but I've never seen anyone use that defense. It's amazing. All right, but let's go.
Your rights by doing so, and according to this ruling, you can't sue them over that. Or how about in a 6-3 ruling, court strikes down New York's concealed carry law? And you know what this and the Miranda rights thing have in common? No one asked for this. No one came to the Supreme Court and was like, hey, I feel like this is unconstitutional, or hey, too many cops are being sued over Miranda rights violations. They just decided to do these things. And Clarence Thomas made it very clear what's next. Thomas, in his opinion, concurring with Dobbs, calls on his court colleagues to next overrule Griswold on contraception, Lawrence on same-sex sex, and Obergefell on same-sex marriage. Griswold guarantees you can use contraceptives, so without it, a state can say if you get pregnant, you cannot have an abortion. That's illegal. But you cannot take steps to prevent a pregnancy in the first place either.
So they're really hardcore about, you know, and all this was geared toward building back up the numbers of white people. And I'm going to prove that with a video with information that Dr. Umar Johnson is about to expose. Because that's what this is really about. All right? Because what that means is that they don't have the numbers to remain the judges, to remain the lawyers, to remain the doctors, to remain lobbyists, to remain policemen and firemen in positions, the aldermen, they don't have the numbers to remain in positions of authority where they can rule over the society and you know and make sure money goes to their neighborhoods and to their causes, et cetera, and that worries and bothers them. That is what this is really about, to be quite honest with you. All right, but this is Job 20 and 23, and I'm gonna play that video from Dr. Johnson, who really irritates me, but sometimes he really has good information. But it says, Job 20 and 23, and it reads, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, else shall rain it down upon him while he is eating. So, you know, he's so close to establishing his new order. And this is all a part of it. Like I said, the Constitution and the Bible are two documents that are completely in the way of that. So they need to get rid of that. Okay. But let's go back to this video of Dr. Umar Johnson, this information that he reveals on what I spoke about earlier in more detail.
Peace and love, black family. The situation is that the New York Times released last summer, and this was confirmed by the United States government and professional demographers, that 26 of 50 United States have a zero white population growth rate.
Yep.
That means more white people are dying than are being born in 26 of America's 50 states.
I did videos on this.
To the extremely
All right, I've done lots of videos on this information over the last couple of years, especially since the opioid thing. So I'm gonna start that again.
Peace and love, black family. The situation is that the New York Times released last summer, and this was confirmed by the United States government and professional demographers, that 26 of 50 United States have a zero white population growth rate. That means more white people are dying than are being born in 26 of America's 50 states. They are connecting this to the extremely high drug abuse and drug death rate. According to
Opioids.
the AP, in 2016, 60,000 white people died as a result of drug overdose. So if you're wondering why Alabama, Louisiana, Kentucky, all of these states are passing laws to restrict the freedoms of abortion, this is why.
The
they
main
are
reason.
trying to save themselves, because the white population in this country is in serious trouble, according to their own experts.
And that puts them in great fear, because like you got to understand, that opioid thing did a number on them, but that was the Lord bringing them low. All right, because that was 60,000 in just that 1 year, but collectively over that 20 plus year, I think it was a 22-year period, it was 40 million. And these were 40-year, that 40 million were, a lot of them were young, women like you see and men like you see on the screen there protesting. Okay, like the people you're looking at right there, young women angry, but once again, it's Esau who crippled himself. Okay. because he's the one that pushed that career, job, and and all that other mess over a woman being brought up to actually be a wife and be at the homestead. And how women are equal to men, so women want to be professionals this and professional that, and they don't have time for children. Their career and their travel and thotting themselves out, to the clubs and to the foreigners going overseas and whatever it is that they do, that was more important to them than actually having children. And then when they would get pregnant, they go and murder their baby. And now it's all backfired on them. And the truth of the matter is, this still would backfire on them, because what they don't understand, the people that outbreed them, so-called blacks and Latinos, all right? The only reason the Latinos, outside of maybe Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, all right? Because I got one of my Puerto Rican, so-called Puerto Ricans, one of my Ephraimite brothers, man, that dude, he look at cat and have a baby. But the only reason that they were outbreeding, a lot of the Northern Kingdom were outbreeding Judah, so-called blacks, is because of, black women get so many abortions. So the flip side of that is that by allowing these women not to have abortions, they would still be on a losing end, because Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans are going to outbreed them. Who knows? About maybe 5-to-1, 10-to-1, who knows? So they would still lose because they would have the smaller numbers. So the point being, like I said, they won't have the numbers to remain in positions of power and authority if they continue on this path. But none of that really matters, because the Lord is going to bring them down anyway. And this is and this is evidence of it. This is Obadiah 1 chapter 2 verse 2, and it reads, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised." So they are greatly despised. And matter of fact, let me play a TikTok video that I used the other day. Let's see if we can find this sister. I rather enjoyed her. She made me laugh. If I can find it, about the study that the college girl did on on racism. Trying to find her. And she interviewed I think 77 people or something like that, and the majority of the people, here we go, I'll just let her break it down.
A college student was doing research on racism, and she did a survey on 17 colleges that are mostly white.
Oh, 17 colleges, okay.
And she asked random people if they had to get rid of one ethnicity or one race of people, who would it be and why? Of course, she's doing the research on racism, so she's fully expecting it to be people of color, whether it be black, Asian, Mexican, whatever. Y'all, 77% of the people said white people, and 91% of the people that she asked were white themselves. White people sick of their own shit, mommy, I'm for it.
Damn. Yeah. So there it is. So, I mean, there it is. They are greatly despised, and I'm willing to bet that the majority of them will, just like what you see on the screen here, complaining, white women. So the curses is upon Esau, man. His women really have disdain with him, because, and one of the reasons being why is because what they refer to as this woke culture, the truth about all the things that he's done, that he continues to do, is coming out, and it's a shame unto them. It's embarrassing and shameful, because they see the mistreatment of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American and people of color in general that are done at the hands of these very hateful and racist, in control so-called white men, who are constantly losing control because of their own decisions. All right, so it's all coming to an end. I do expect fireworks after the real fireworks after July 4th. America's on a decline and is not coming back for it. This is Job 14:5. We'll end it here, and it reads, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bonds that he cannot pass." Hey, so with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Qadash, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasarala, and Shalom.